Hello, good day everybody. My name's Roy Boy, and today I'm going to be starting a new series on this channel. I've wanted to start this series for a while. I'm going to be basically going to a flat world, and I'm going to basically transform that flat world into a giant medieval slash fantasy uh, world. Um, but I mean, obviously, you can tell I'm not in a flat world right now. The reason for that is that I started doing something like this a while ago in a normal world, which is the world that I'm in right now. It was a little difficult to do it in this world because I had to work around the terrain instead of building all the terrain for myself. That's why I'm moving into a flat world so I can really build everything exactly how I want it. But I decided for the first video of this series, I was going to basically show you around, give a little showcase of the world that I was working on before, so you can sort of tell, sort of tell what I'm going to be doing. See if this series is something you'd be interested in. So, yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna start out on the big map that I made of this world, and I'll tell you about it, and then we will start. See you in a bit. Alrighty, so here we are with this map. As you can see, I didn't finish it because this took a lot of time. A lot of the things in this world are not done. Because I'm kind of leaving this world in the middle. Because, well, I mean, I wanted to start in a flat world. I don't have any. I didn't record any of the other stuff that I was working on, and I've done quite a lot in this world, and I thought it would be kind of. I thought a lot of people wouldn't want to see it if I started after already working a lot in this world. Yeah, but most of the projects I'm going to show you are not going to be finished because I tend to start projects and then not finish them. So I mean, hopefully I won't do that in this series. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. So right now we are up here at this big square right there. We have a town over here and a castle over here, and this is where we will start out. So that's just right over that way. So I'm gonna go into the starting place, and because I might be adding some quests throughout the flat world to make it kind of a immersive world. So I added bit of a quest through here. So I'm gonna lead you through the quest, which kind of gives a nice thing of a nice little view of everything I've built here. Just know it's really not finished. As you can see, there's unfinished houses and unfinished walls, and there's really a lot of things that aren't done. But you'll have to put up with that for the sake of this video. So see you when I'm in this house over here at the starting point. Also, just to help me go around, I'm going to have this little map in my offhand for... Actually, I'm not going to have it for most of the video, but I'll put it every now and then to reference where I'm going because as you can tell, it's a pretty big world and I have stuff built all the way from this corner here to this corner. Something in this corner, I think. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Okay, so when you start playing, this is the bed that you start in, and this is the little starting house. It's the house that the person has. I'm not good at interiors, so don't judge the inside of this house. There's some storage stuff up here, and yeah, it's not the nicest place, but there's a few stuff in this chest to basically lead you along the quest. So there's this map here that's basically a small map of the town telling you where some things are. I don't need that. There's this book here telling you to go talk to someone. There's nothing in here. Going to talk to someone at the church. So we'll go ahead and do that. So when you start, you go outside. And kind of try to look at the ground a lot so I can really choose what I'm going to show you guys. So it's a little farmhouse, as you can see. There's a little farm here. Made everything look kind of nice and whatever. Made a little beach area behind that I haven't worked on very much. It looks kind of plain right now. And here's the little farmhouse. Another thing I want to say, a lot of the stuff in this world was taken from tutorials. I probably won't do that in the next world, but like this windmill wasn't my design. I kind of feel bad that I can't say whose design it was because I made this a long time ago. But yeah, some of the builds are not my own. But anyway, so you get out of the house, you look around over there, and you walk this way, and you go into a small... There's some more little farms here, and there's a nice little woods here that I decorated up, and then you follow the path to go into town. As you can see on the map, that I didn't pick up in the house because I don't need that. So as you go into town, you can see some mountains in the background. We'll check those out in a bit. Everything's nice and detailed, and we've got a nice. See, I'll give you a little glimpse of my interiors because they're really not the best. I'm not so good at interiors, but I'm loving these new lanterns from 1.14. I'm in 1.14.2 now. I think this is when I'm starting this series. So yeah, just a little look at interiors. I can give another interior. This is a church I basically built. I didn't come up with this either. This was, I actually do know who this one made. This one came up, it was Jurcraft. Great builder, much bigger YouTuber than me. Go check him out if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Here's the interior of the church. And then basically when you hit this button here, it sends you to the king to go and speak with the king. Yeah, it says there's some kind of quest to go speak with the king, so you have to head over to the castle. So I'll keep looking around at the town so that you can see the town. Actually, before we go into the castle, let's check out this over here. So this whole lake here was all hand dug. There's a little bridge here, some little farms over here. As you can see, there's the mountains up here. This is how I like to do mountains. I'll probably do some tutorials on how I make these mountains, but yeah. These aren't done. As you can see, this cliffside is right now just a cliff. If you go behind these mountains, it's a giant dark cave, and yeah, so they're not. It's definitely not finished, and I haven't done much texture variation on these. But I don't know. Let me quickly turn off the clouds. That's in here, right? Yeah, clouds. Let's turn them off because they're kind of getting in the way. Yeah, so you can see there's a nice little path here, some farms. Anyways, whatever. I've shown that. There's the wall here that isn't finished. The little marketplace. There was over here. There was going to be this. This was going to be like the city, but I didn't really like the way that this was coming out, especially that house right there. The roof was way too big, and yeah. So I'll work on that. I did some detailing around the sides. Anyways, I don't want to drag that out for too long because there's a lot to show in this video. So now we're going to enter the big castle. So you can see this big castle right now. I'll show a bit more of it in detail. We can see this castle, this dragon here, also not my design. Another tutorial. I can't put my finger on who it was again. Sorry about that. But yeah, I have all kinds of big castles. Most of these castles have nothing inside. As you can see, let me see. Does this guy have anything inside? No. Most of them are just giant holes. If I can get out. There we go. Yeah, most of them are just giant empty spaces for now. We have. I had a cool idea for a jail here. Actually, one of my friends had a cool idea for it, where it was like this spiral staircase that goes down, and then you'd have jail cells along in here. And now in 1.14, I can put like pillagers and stuff in there, and then it goes down into the void, and I can make it look like it's. I didn't do that now, so it looks kind of awkward with these, but I could make it look like it's crumbling away into the void. Or I could use stained glass to make kind of a kind of misty effect. I don't know. I had some plans for that, but I never really got around to finishing that up. Yeah, a lot of this isn't done. As you can see, there's a lot of empty spaces. The mountain range over there isn't finished. And yeah, so let's go inside of the castle because this part of the castle has a bit of interiors. It's got the main entrance here, which is one room that's done. We have... As we go into here, this room isn't done. This room definitely isn't done, as you can see. But we have a little area here with a villager walking around. As we go down here, you can go through here. Obviously, a lot of this still isn't finished, but we have a giant throne room that I built. I was pretty happy with the way this one came out. I liked all my hiding a bunch of lighting everywhere. So yeah, that was pretty nice. We have a big room. If I kind of put a villager in here right now, which kind of messed it up. I'll have to change the way that looks. But if you happen to catch like the trailer to my channel, I was sitting in that throne right over there. All right, let's move on. I think that we're done with this part. So let me pull out my map here and see where we're gonna go. So right now we're up in that corner, obviously, as you can see. So where do we go now? I think now I will go. I know where I'm going. This is a place that's not too far away. I have one more thing to show about of the castle. And I'm going to go to a project that's barely worked on at all. So even more unfinished than this. Smaller than this is probably the place I spent the most time working on this area here. Because it's a very big castle, as you can see. My idea for this castle was going to be kind of a port city. I didn't finish the docks. They look kind of really bad right now. But it was going to have like this big dock underneath it, like that, and the ships come into harbor over here. But as you can see over in the distance here, there is a lot of flying around in this world, so I'm probably going to cut away for all those. This is becoming a very long clip. But as you can see here, there was going to be this giant hole that I was going to make. And I was going to decorate it all up. As you can see, it's not done yet. Everything I'm doing, I don't have world edit, so everything I did was placed by hand, except for, as you can see, these giant areas of squares that were cleared away with the /fill command. So it's just a command anybody who has cheats on can use it. And it's, so yeah, that's how all this was done, but I don't have any world edit, so all those mountains too, all placed by hand. Yeah, so as you can see, I was going to make this big hole here, and I was going to fill it up with like all kinds of trees and giant mushrooms and stuff, and yeah. So, alright, so I think now for the next place, I think it's a little bit far away. Let me see, where do I go now? So there's a bit of... Alright, I'm going to go near the center of the map. If you go to that, there's that little desert there, and if you go right above it, there's a brown blob. That's something I worked on. Actually, let's head over to the main map over here so I can actually show where that is. It's right over here. Excuse the flight. And let's drop down onto this. Okay, here it is. So we have right over... Yeah, so here's where we were at the beginning. Here was the hole I just showed over there. There's a tiny little house here. Not very interesting. It's a fishing house. I don't think I'm going to show that. But right now I'm going to go down to this blob over here and this over here. They're two little other things I've worked on, so I'll be back once I'm over there. I thought I'd quickly show the little farmhouse or fishing house I talked about. I mean, it's very small. It's right over there. You can see the mountains from the castle over there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I really like, for some reason, when you have a fishing house, to have this little thing on the side. I feel like, I don't know, gives it some kind of story. I was planning on this little hill here to put like a little castle of some lord who is going to give you another quest that I'll mention a bit in a bit, the quest that he was going to give you, because that has to do with the next place we're going. But yeah, I thought I'd just show that on the way there. So see when I actually get there. Alrighty, so as you can see right over there, that's the fishing house we were just looking at. And over here we have this, well, it's a giant tree. This was the brown blob. It was actually, so this whole top part here was actually a weirdly generated mountain that I found, and I thought it kind of looked like a tree, so I basically replaced it all with wood, and then, I mean, it's not done, as you can see, but I started working on this, and then right behind me over here, there is some weird mountains. If this can load in, the loading in 1.14.2 is still not completely fixed, but whatever. So as you can see, this does look kind of weird. I was planning on having this whole area filled with just really tall mountains like this and big arches and stuff, and then it wouldn't look so out of place, but because I only have 1.5, didn't work out really well. But basically, so as I said, that there was going to be a little quest that the whoever was going to be leading that little castle by the fishing house was going to send you on, and it was basically going to send you over here and say that there is you need to retrieve some eggs, some eagle eggs for him. So you go up this whole like parkour thing all the way up to the top to arrive to these little nests here, which basically give you the eagle eggs and some other stuff. And if you decide to be adventurous and to explore the way to the top, I tend to do that a lot, where I have a quest, and then if you decide to explore a bit more, you sometimes get a reward. You can come up here to this like ancient temple, and then if you accidentally step on one of these pressure plates or push one of these buttons, They all activate the same command, which gives you uh, a nice sword and says some stuff about the area. Alright, now as you can see, I'm looking on the little map. I'm looking at some giant gray square, so that's or rectangle. So that's where I'm gonna fly to right now, because that's pretty close. That's just right over here. There it is. So this here was going to be a castle. One of my friends pointed out it kind of looked like a school, so maybe it could have been a school. But this was going to be kind of a deserty castle or school or whatever, and then I was going to build a big mountain that kind of comes up from the sides around like that, and then it was going to be like in the middle of just surrounded by mountains, but I never really got around to that. I kind of showed where the mountains were gonna be by building up a little sand wall around it, but yeah, I never really got to that. Okay, let's go back to the map and let's take a look at where we're gonna go next. So I think the next place I'll go, if you go down, it's about where I am on the opposite side of the map. There's another little brown blob. I'll head over there. I'll be back when I am there. Well, here it is. So that's, in case you didn't know, I'm back on the map, so you can see that's where I was talking about. There's this little brown blob here, which is a small little village I was working on. It's a little farming village. You can see back here, it's a little farm. This village was actually, it was taken a bit, like the way that I designed all of it was taken a bit from a tutorial by F-Whip, who gave a tutorial about making villages, so that's where I kind of took some of the inspiration. As you can probably hear, there's some villagers. I tried to put in some villagers around here. On the houses that have interiors, I put in some villagers with professions and whatever, but I kind of got bored of that and I moved away. But yeah, I have a nice little village here. Very, very small. The reason it's so small is because right next to it, there was going to be a giant city. As you can see over there, there's a castle. This entire field here, if it loads in the distance over there, or this whole plains area, was going to be a massive city that was going to be surrounded by walls in the type of style as this little castle. And over here is kind of the castle keep, and then the whole thing was going to be surrounded by a big wall, and then there was going to be a giant city inside. So I'll jump down here. The style of this castle came up by me, but again, the way I designed this castle was also inspired by F-Whip on his tutorial on how to build castles. Yeah, so that's like basically the fingerprint or whatever, the bottom the bottom of it. Yeah, so you can see here some texture variation, nothing too big. This whole thing wasn't done yet. There's gonna be some courtyards, some gates here. There's gonna be the big keep was here. It was kind of I was trying to think of what style it is. Like it's either kind of like a Nordic style, but it's not very Nordic. It's a little elven. It could be elven, could be Nordic. I couldn't really tell what style I built this in. So yeah, so there's that. Yeah, that's about all I have of this little area here. I had a plan over in these mountains to build like, this would be like the new castle, and over here there was going to be like, there used to be this ancient castle, and this, I was going to build like ruins of like a giant castle that was like with big bridges suspended across these points here, and then the main keep was going to be here, but it's all broken down. And then after, like, there could be some lore about like some big war that occurred here, and then this is like the same people like rebuilt, and they built this much smaller castle here and built a town and whatever. And over there, as you can see, that's the little village we were just at. So let's look back at the map again and see where we're gonna go. So I think we're getting near to the end of this. So if I look over here, you can see straight along there's a big gray blob, and then above that there's 3 little brown dots. That's the next place we're gonna see. So I'll see you when I'm there. Alrighty, so here we are back at, well, not back, for the first time at those 3 little brown dots. That was the start of this village. This is kind of a little rustic styled house, kind of a little farther in time than the other ones. It looks a bit more, maybe it could be Victorian. I'm not completely sure what era it looks like, but it doesn't look too medieval. I also got this style from a tutorial. Not the actual design, but the style of house I got from a tutorial by Grian, another bigger YouTuber. Yeah, so here are it was just going to be a little town. I hadn't really done much work on it. But over there, as you can see, this project is very, very unfinished. As you can see right now, it's pretty much just two big discs. There's a tiny bit more over here, which I can show, but this product is really, really unfinished. Here it is. This was going to be a giant steampunk flying castle, which I absolutely loved the idea for this one, and you'll definitely see this one come in the new flat world. I'll build something like this. And below it, there was going to be a giant, like, steampunk industrial town with a bunch of, like, smoking chimneys and windmills and stuff, and they were going to be similar in that style, but a bit more industrial over here, and then over there it was going to be more like where people live. But yeah, this was going to be a giant steampunk flying castle, and then I was going to surround the whole thing with like hot air balloons and blimps and stuff like that. But yeah, I think, let me quickly look at the map, because I think that might be it for things I've built. There's a few other little things that I did, like I started working on a cave somewhere and started working on a statue, just kind of more boring stuff that I have a camp somewhere along the map. Just things I worked on and then kind of gave up on. Yeah, so I think that's it. So let me quickly close this, and let me switch to this view. As you can see, I have Elytra on and fireworks in here because it's a little bit faster to fly around between the different areas using Elytra, so I've been doing that, and I'll probably have those on in the flat world too. Alright, so this video, I don't know if it's interesting, haven't edited it yet, I don't know how long it is, don't know anything about it. Hope it's not too long, hope it's not too short, hope it's somewhat interesting. It was just meant to be a little glimpse of my building style and just kind of my what the goal is for the next world and the inspiration for it. And in the next world, you might see a lot of designs you saw in here, like that first castle. There might be a castle in that kind of style, and maybe the other style the other castle I built, and the towns and whatever. Yep, and then the next episode, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to be posting these yet, like what playlists I'm going to be putting them in. I had an idea because there's going to be a bunch of different things I'm going to be working on. Like for a few episodes, I'm going to be working on the town, then I'm going to be working on a different town or a castle or mountain range or whatever I'm going to be working on. So maybe I was thinking I could have a bunch of different playlists, but that might get a little confusing because you won't know where to go from, like what the order they were made on. So I don't know. I'll think about it a bit more. If anybody happens to watch this video, give me feedback in the comments. That'd be really nice. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this new series that I'm starting. I'm sure I will. And yeah, so I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.